What's good, Steeler Nation? My name is Jack Sperry, and this is Steelers Talk. We have a great show lined up for you today on this beautiful Tuesday. Thanks for stopping by and spending part of your Tuesday with us to talk some Steelers football. Today, we're going to be talking about Kenny Pickett and T.J. Watt. Should the Steelers consider shutting them down to finish out the 2022 season and preserve their health? We're going to be talking about Myles Jack and whether the Steelers should cut him in the offseason. We'll be going over the benefits and the costs of that potential decision. And then also, we got an injury update on Pat Freiermuth and Chris Wormley today, so we're going to be going over that towards the end of the show. So let's just jump right into all of today's action. We'll start with Kenny Pickett, obviously pulled from the game against the Ravens due to the NFL's concussion protocol, and it's his second time exiting a game with a concussion this year. And, we know that he's young, with the player safety and all this stuff. If you take into account the Steelers are essentially out of the playoff picture right now with just 4 games left to go, there's certainly an argument to be made that after 2 concussions, you want to preserve the mental health of your young quarterback and sit him and shut him down for the rest of the year and go with Mason Rudolph and Mitchell Trubisky and then start fresh at the start of the 2023 NFL season with Kenny Pickett. But for me, I would tend to disagree with this. I would play Kenny Pickett once he is fully healthy. Now, this week, it could get a bit hairy against Carolina, because he's not practicing to start the week. He has to pass concussion protocol in order to play. But once he's good to go, I think you need to play him, and here's why. I think with a guy as young as Kenny Pickett, you need to get reps. Young quarterbacks need reps, all right? They need time to build chemistry with their receivers. They need to learn what they can get away with and what they can't get away with. They need to learn how to navigate an NFL pocket. These are things that Kenny Pickett needs to learn to do, and he's been doing a good job progressing through this season. He started off the year 8 interceptions in just his first couple of games, and then he progressed, and he really did a good job at protecting the football over the last couple of weeks, especially after the bye week. And now he's completing around 65% of his passes. He's getting close to that 2,000-yard mark. The red zone's been kind of a rough spot for the Pittsburgh Steelers offense this year, but Kenny Pickett is progressing. He needs to continue that progression. These games, although they might not mean much as far as playoff contention, they do mean a lot for the progression of Kenny Pickett, and if he's healthy, I think he should play. All right, guys, like this video right now to wish Kenny a speedy and full recovery from that second concussion right now. It's very important that he gets back to full strength. Obviously, we want him to progress nicely, so like this video right now to wish KP8 a speedy recovery. Now let's get into T.J. Watt here, and again, the Steelers are practically out of playoff contention right now, so you could certainly make an argument that with all the injuries that TJ has had to deal with this year, the partial pectoral tear, and then also the knee surgery, and now he's dealing with the rib injury, it certainly makes sense to potentially shut him down because the Steelers, he's not a young player, he's not learning how to play in the NFL like Kenny Pickett is. He's one of the guys that knows how to play. It's just, he's really banged up right now, and the production has really fallen off for TJ since he came back from injury this year. I mean, just look at these numbers. Only about 2.5 tackles per week since he came back. That's not very good. Only 1 total tackle for loss. That's not very TJ Watt-like. QB hits only 4 in 5-6 weeks at this point, and then only a sack and a half there. Got that first sack last week against the Ravens, but it's this isn't the normal TJ Watt, the defensive player of the year type TJ Watt that we're used to seeing. So, I mean, I'm more open to shutting TJ down than I am Kenny because I want TJ to fully recover, right? With this rib injury, obviously he's still dealing with some of that pec issues right now, and then also the knee. I mean, he's had to deal with a lot of stuff this year, and with the Steelers out of playoff contention, if Mike Tomllin went out there and said, we're going to shut TJ down for the rest of the year and make sure he's good to go at the start of next season, I wouldn't really bat an eye. I would be okay with that personally, but I know TJ Watt, man, he is a competitor. He is a dog. He's going to want to go out there and play, so this is going to have to come from Mike Tomllin at the very top of the tree there, and really, it's going to have to come from Tomllin if it's going to happen. All right, guys, let me know in the comment section right now, should the Steelers shut down TJ Watt for the remainder of the 2022 season? Type Y for yes or type N for no. This is the pinned comment on today's video. So whenever there's an ad break, guys, just go down in the comment section, find that pinned comment, and give an answer to today's question. All right, now, now this is a question that I kind of brought up a little bit in yesterday's video, and I got some comments on it, so I want to break it down a little bit more. Should the Steelers cut Myles Jack in the next offseason here? So we break down this situation, right? He's not grading particularly well right now, guys, all right? He's actually grading worse than Devin Bush. So for all those Devin Bush haters out there right now, Myles Jack is actually grading worse. He's the 64th ranked inside linebacker according to Pro Football Focus right now, and if we cut him in the offseason, it will be $3.25 million in dead cap. But the Steelers also get $8 million in extra cap savings if they cut him. So it's like, is it really worth the Steelers' time and money to bring in a guy like this or keep a guy like this on the roster? Even though he's arguably the best linebacker on the team, you could get $8 million in extra cap savings and use that on other things if you decide to cut him. Now, there's other factors that come into play, and I'm going to get into those in just a second. But with the Steelers potentially looking to save some money, you should be looking to save some money too with our sponsor today at Rocket Money. How much money are you wasting per month on monthly subscriptions? 80% of people have subscriptions that they don't know that they're even paying for, guys. It could be an Amazon Prime account that you're not using. Maybe it's a Netflix account that's not getting streamed, right? There's all these things that it could be happening with. I know I'm one of those people, which is why I use Rocket Money, this great app that I use that helps me track all of my expenses. Like I said, it's Rocket Money, formerly known as Truebill, and the app shows you your subscriptions in one place and then cancels for you whatever you don't still want. Rocket Money can even find subscriptions you don't even know that you were paying for, and you might even be double charged for a subscription right now. To cancel a subscription on the Rocket Money app, all you have to do is press cancel, and Rocket Money takes care of the rest for you. Get rid of useless subscriptions with Rocket Money now. Go to rocketmoney.com/Steelers Talk to help out the channel and save you guys a bunch of money. Since I started using Rocket Money just a couple weeks ago, I'm saving a ton of money, hundreds of dollars on subscriptions I didn't even know I was paying for and I barely use. So I'm saving a ton of money right now. You can do the same. Go to rocketmoney.com/Steelers Talk. Once again, to help out the channel, but also help your pocketbook. All right, now let's dive a bit deeper here into this Myles Jack situation. I don't think cutting Jack is ideal because plain and simply the Steelers linebacker situation isn't great right now, right? Myles Jack is that linebacker one on the Steelers depth chart right now. Devin Bush is going to be a free agent come next season. Robert Spillane is a free agent as well. So, if they cut Myles Jack, it's looking like it's going to be a completely new inside linebacker room for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And you might want to keep a guy like Jack who has lots of NFL experience, somebody that's been in the defense. So if they draft somebody and bring in somebody new, Myles Jack is going to have that experience and be able to teach that young player. But at the same time, it's absolutely possible that the team is going to be looking for that cap saving. But I don't think they're going to cut Myles Jack unless they absolutely need that $8 million in extra cap space. All right, guys, let me know in the comments right now, cut or keep Myles Jack this offseason. Let me know in the comments. Type C if you want to cut him. Type K for keep, and you want to keep him on the roster. For me, right now, I want to keep him. I think he's a solid player. He's had some nice plays this year. But if push comes to shove and the Steelers need that extra $8 million in cap space, I wouldn't be afraid to pull the trigger and cut him. All right, now let's get into some injury updates here to finish out the show, starting with Pat Freiermuth, who, had kind of an undisclosed injury. He was seen in a walking boot after the game against the Ravens, and Tomllin didn't address it in his post-game press conference. So it's either he didn't know about it or they were keeping it under wraps. But in Tomlin's press conference today, his Tuesday press conference, they did reveal that Pat is dealing with a foot injury, and he is questionable to play this week against the Panthers. Pat has really had a fantastic year so far this year. He's really establishing himself as definitely a top 10 tight end in the National Football League. And I think he has what it takes to be a top 5 tight end in this league in the future. I really like him. Hopefully he can recover quickly. This is a bit of a surprise to Steelers fans because we didn't really know he was hurt coming out of that Ravens game. But the player that we did know that got hurt, Chris Wormley, it was announced today that he needs surgery on that injured knee. He went down, I believe, in the third quarter against against the Ravens, and it just looked ugly, man. He was on the ground rolling around. Hopefully Chris Wormley gets things going, has a full recovery here, gets the surgery that he needs, and has a nice full and speedy recovery in the weeks and months to come. All right, that's going to do it for today's show, guys. But if you liked what we kind of do here, news and rumors content on the Steelers all year round, 12 months of the year, right? News and rumors. We're going to be doing a lot of draft coverage, a lot of free agent coverage here coming up. So if you don't want to miss any of that, go ahead and subscribe to Steelers Talk right now. That's it for today's show, Yinzers. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.